Hi there, good to have you with us. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debie ending the week. I'm Jerry Usher along with Debie Georgianni and you, and we look forward to you being a part of your show today because it's a part two from yesterday talking about legal names, birth names, how, how we feel about our names. And sometimes a lot of people yesterday, Debie called in and talked about the meaning of their names and the beautiful ways in which they got the names that they have. So looking forward to another great conversation today.
Yep, part two of Do You Like Your Birth or Legal Name? And we want to finish this broadcast and go into the weekend with a real appreciation of our names because they have meaning and there's something that we think about, we can learn to maybe in some cases live up to, maybe call on the patron saints that we're named after. I mean, just so many ways we can look at it, but it's just one of these uplifting conversations that we had yesterday, and then hopefully we'll continue today, and we'll go into the weekend with just a brighter outlook about ourselves, and that's what God wants for us. If you look throughout Scripture, He wants us to have life and to have it to the full. And what does that mean? It means a healthy understanding of ourselves, where we embrace ourselves in a good way, so that we can go out there and be Christ to others. So please call in, share about your name, the story of how you got your name. What do you feel about it? Maybe you grew into your name and now and you like it even more as you've gotten older and you learn to appreciate all that means of being named after a certain person or or relative or something of that nature. Here's the number. Ryan is waiting to get your call. 833-288 3986. Now, some of you were on the lines yesterday. We couldn't get to you. There was about 5, I think. Please call back. Just tell Ryan, I was holding yesterday, and Ryan knows to just bump you to the head of the line because that's the least we can do for you waiting. 833-288 3986.
Yeah, a lot of people wait 15, 20 minutes after they call to get on the program. If you were on the line at the end of the show yesterday, you've now waited about 24 hours. So you get our Virtual Patience Award, and as Debie said, bumped right up to the front of the line. And we talked yesterday, Debie, a lot of people about, you mentioned it too just a minute ago, growing into our legal name. And I mentioned early on the show yesterday, that's something that I had to do. I was named after St. Gerard, and I now have a beautiful devotion to him, but I didn't always have an appreciation of that name. And of course I should have, and I most definitely do now, because my mother was not able to have children for the first 7 or 8 years of my parents' marriage. And so my mother made some sacrifices to the Lord and called upon St. Gerard. And lo and behold, my sister came along. So the first one was a girl. So they named her Mary after the Blessed Mother. And then the first boy that came out was me, and I got the name Gerard. So it's a beautiful tribute to that great saint who has helped, Debie, so many people who are simply trying to have children and are unable to conceive.
Mm-hmm. And do I remember this correctly? Weren't you a breech baby? Did you come out feet first?
My mother wrote me a long letter many years ago. I was an adult at the time, but she wrote the whole story of my delivery. She was in labor 24 hours with me. Wow. And it was like I knew I could almost look ahead and see the state of the world in 2020 and said, I don't want any part of this world. But I was born breech, yes.
That's what I thought. So you hit the ground running. Just think about that.
Yeah, you might say so, yeah.
And you've never stopped.
He's not gone.
He's not gone. I think that's really cool. Yeah, that's beautiful that she wrote your story down of your birth, and I think that's wonderful. I know so many of us as parents, we've done that as well. But we've also I've got a very interesting story. But I can see the phone lines filling up. But an interesting story about how we decided on the name of our second son. It was very interesting. We prayed, and God gave us the answer right away. It was really interesting. So we just knew that his name had to be Matthew, which means a gift of God. Very, very interesting. So, things happen like that. Did you have some of those where you just felt God's hand on it, that God was helping you name this child? Maybe that's you. Call in 833 288-3986. And Jerry, if I may, I spoke to you before we started the show. Our dear friend Carolyn in Houston, Texas. Carolyn, if you're listening, we're waving to you right now. Thank you so much for the kind words you said about Take Two and the Take Two family. You're so wonderful. Thank you so much. You brightened our day. You made our weekend already, and we haven't even started with our weekend yet. So thank you, Carolyn from Houston, Texas. Now we want to hear from you. 833-288-3986.
Yeah, and as you know, that is just one of the many ways that you can be a part of the program. EWTN radio streams on YouTube and Facebook as well, and they have the comment sections there. I know active, lively conversations go on every day, and our media manager, Jeff Burson, is always looking for your good, insightful takes on this, and he will post those to an online doc that we share. You can also email take2@EWTN.com. You can text the letters EWTN to 55000. There might be a small data rate that applies for that. And you can also post on the show website, take2show.com. So you can get to us a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be just by phone. But as Debbie said, if you want to grab your cell phone and give a call, it's 833-288-3986.
And I think about a couple thousand of you actually have my cell phone number, which you text all the time during the show. So I've got my cell phone in hand. If you'd like to text your comments about your name, I can happily weave them into our show discussion today. But as we always say on Take Two, especially when it's a Friday, of course, don't get started with your weekend yet until you participate, or at least listen in to see what the Take Two family has to say about their birth and legal names, and if they like them, don't like them, how their parents arrived at those names, what it meant for them growing up with the name, the saints that you feel close to, that you were named after. So many things we want to hear, so many angles. That's how we cover things on Take Two. We've been doing this for almost 5 years. And by the way, just wanted to say, please go to take2show.com, and take the 60-second survey and share with us the topics you like and the ones you want to suggest for this next half of the year. So please, would you go to take2show.com. Michael, our producer, created this wonderful 60-second survey. It's for our 5-year anniversary. Hit the anniversary button, take the survey, and we would so appreciate it. Right, Jerry?
Absolutely. Please do that. It's at take2show.com. It's your show, so we really do want your input. Take2show.com, and your phone calls on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie coming up in just a minute.
The EWTN home video highlight for June is Living the Scriptures with Mother Angelica. These vintage Mother Angelica episodes will profit your soul and cheer your spirit. Each episode demonstrates Mother's insights, wisdom, and humor, which beautifully penetrate her reflections on the Old and New Testaments. Order your DVD set at EWTNRC.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or call 1-800-854-6316.
Hi, this is Debbie Georgianni.
And I'm Jerry Usher.
Have you joined our Inspired by Faith book club yet? Log on to standtalltoday.com and click on the book club tab.
Our facilitator, Gigi, picks a great book each month for us to read together.
Then we have a virtual conversation about it at the end of the month.
It's a great way to make sure spiritual reading is part of your daily life.
Again, go to standtalltoday.com and follow the link to register for the Inspired by Faith book club.
EWTN, communicating the faith.
And I wanted to tell you guys how great your show is, because I listened to you guys for every day for the past 5.5 months. It's because of you guys that I came to the Catholic faith. Now I'm going to church on Sunday for the first time, because I just got out yesterday from jail. And I got my mom to go too, and my girlfriend is also going with me. Wow. She's willing to give the Catholic faith a try.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
EWTN Radio, I'm Jerry Usher. Good to have you along. with me and Debbie Georgianni. And, of course, it is your show, so we look forward to hearing your take. And as you call in right now, we got a lot of people on the line who want to share if they like and maybe even love their given name, their birth name, their legal name. And so many of you are sharing the stories behind that, so we're very, very edified by that. 833-288-3986. Let's get started on the phones here with Alice in Philadelphia, who I believe was waiting at the end of the show yesterday. Hi, Alice. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi. Glad to get on finally. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love your show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Tell us about how you love your name and if you have anything you want to share about it.
I'm the baby of 10, and my older sister, she was 3 years old when I was born. So she said, Mommy, what are you going to name your baby? And my mom said, Alice. And she said, oh, Alice in Wonderland, which happened to be a movie that was very popular at that time. I'm dating myself, right? And then my great aunt, who lived in Philadelphia, I lived in Shamokin, Pennsylvania. She automatically thought I was named after her. My mom never told her that hurt her feelings, that I'm really named after her. My mom's next door neighbor when she was raised in Philadelphia. It was her best friend, Alice. And then when I grew up and I had 12 children and I always wanted to have a daycare home, I was a teacher. And so I said, if I ever have a daycare home, my daycare home is going to be called Alice in Wonderland. So everybody that knows me knows that's like my secret code, Alice in Wonderland. I did have a daycare home for a year, and I loved it. And I have 12 children, like I said. I wrote a book about my own life growing up and my children, too. So, and I have the name is living on in my daughter. She's Mary Alice. My name is Alice Geraldine Mary for confirmation. And then she has a daughter, Alicia. And there's Alice is, and Mary's in each one of I have 6 girls and 6 boys. And
wow.
the girls
Wow.
all have Mary in their name.
They all have Mary. Okay.
Wow.
So I think it's safe to say, Alice, you absolutely love your name because of how beautifully it started with your family. And I love the fact that you're the youngest of 10. I'm the youngest of 6, and I think that is an awesome position to be in. But the youngest of 10, wow, pretty incredible. So real quickly, and you said you have 6 boys and 6 girls. So you yourself have 12 children. Did I hear that correctly, Alice?
You heard that correctly. Yes, I did. Yes, indeed. And I went to Holy Family College when I was almost 50. I graduated from Holy Family College.
Good for you.
Wow.
Good for you.
Wow. Okay, so Alice, we're going to have to somehow come up with a virtual award for you because I think that is that the biggest family that we've ever heard of, Jerry? I believe so. I think I thought it was 11. So you topped it with 12. You've got some kind of virtual award we're going to name after you, Alice.
Well, how about this one, Great Granny, because I have 22 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
Great. That's not a virtual award. That is the real award, the Great Granny Award. Yeah. Oh, boy.
And today, was it today or yesterday? It was yesterday. My one granddaughter graduated virtually from high school.
Oh, wow. Wow. You have so much. You have so many blessings around you, Alice, and so much to be just so pleased about with your growing, your family that's growing and getting on with life. And you are that wonderful person that they can lean on, that they know they can go to because of the strength that you have. I mean, look what you said about your own education and how you graduate. I just love it. I love every aspect of your story, Alice. I hope somewhere it's written down. Is it written down somewhere for some kind of family legacy,
Yeah.
Alice?
I wrote a book, and my son had it published just
There
for
you
the
go.
family.
Beautiful. Way to go, Alice. I love it. You're a precious soul. Thank you so much. And you just absolutely graced and blessed this conversation today. Thank you for hanging on yesterday and trying to get in. And we're so glad you were first up on Take Two. Call anytime. Ryan, if Alice calls from Philadelphia, she gets to the front of the line. Okay?
Alice, thank you so much. We'll let you go and enjoy your beautiful Friday there in Philadelphia. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie talking about birth names, legal names, how you feel about yours. Have you always been comfortable with it? I wasn't for a while, but I certainly am now. Gerard and Deborah is Debbie is Deborah, I should say. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hear from you. Carol in, you got to help me here, New Liskeard, Ontario, Canada. Carol, is that... did I get the name of your town right? We got to get to...
I think we're on to Connie.
Oh, I'm sorry,
it's
Connie,
Connie,
yeah.
Connie in Buffalo.
Michael is just too quick for us. Michael's our producer doing a great job. All
Hold
right,
on,
Connie.
Carol.
Yeah, hold on, Carol. Connie in Buffalo listening on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Connie.
Hello. Well, my name's Connie. I changed from my birth and baptismal name, Conchetta. And I was named for my grandmother. And as a little tot in grammar school, they used to make fun of my name. It was in the 50s, and they used to call me Conchetta Cheesehead. And I came home from school crying, "Oh, Mommy, Mommy." So she said, "Okay, we'll change it to Connie." And now that I'm older and I know that I was named for the Immaculate Conception, I have my email, Conchetta. But I'm going to cry now. It was such a beautiful name, and I didn't appreciate it as a kid. So, but now I appreciate it, and I'm so blessed to have Conchetta as my real name. So that's why I called in.
Well, Connie, you should be. It's a beautiful. It is a beautiful name. That is my mother's name, Conchetta.
I know.
I know, and I'll tell you what, my mother, and I love the fact, that just warms my heart that you so much appreciate that it was you're named after the Immaculate Conception. And, you know, my mom is Conchetta by birth, but she's gone by Connie for her whole entire life. And she still knows that she was named after the Immaculate Conception. And so are you. And I love, Connie is such a powerful, beautiful name. Not to mention it is a happy name. You know, my mom, when my mom would go places, they would go, Connie, it's like sunshine. They would say that to her all the time. And, you know, I just want to say you're blessed to have a beautiful name, your birth name, Conchetta, your name, Connie. I think it's just it's a very, in my opinion, a very sacred name. I love the name. It's not just because it's my mom. I have seen people respond to that, because when my mother tells people that it is after the Immaculate Conception, you can see people's eyes are opened and a beauty takes place and an understanding. And you were blessed with that name, Connie.
Well, thank you. This is why I called a second time, because I was on the phone yesterday waiting, and I thought, no, I want to give other people who may have the name, and just to give them like a shout out. We have a beautiful name, because I know lots of Connies, like in the media, Connie Francis, all the others. They were Conchetta too, because I looked them up, and they were given the name Conchetta. And I think today I think we're more open to unusual names, and that's it.
It's beautiful.
I just learned something. I've known this was your mother's name, Debbie, forever, but I did not know that it was derived from conception. I think that's beautiful.
Well, you have words. You have conception. You have Conchetta. The Italian is how we pronounced it is Conchetta, and that is it's derived from the Immaculate Conception. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Is that? Do you know, Debbie? Is that a common female name in Italy? Do you know?
Yes, my mother used to say that, and my uncle, the priest, used to say that. And Connie, you're still on? Do you know? Is yours? Do you come from Italian heritage, Connie?
Yes, from Sicilian. It's a Sicilian.
Right.
If I just may say, I was in Italy, like in my 30s, and I was near Rome, and I was in a taxi with some other people. It was this young Italian man, and I said, "Oh, my name is Conchetta." And he looked at me. He said, "Oh, common Sicilian name."
Mm-hmm.
I went, "What?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, yes, it's very common in Sicily, and because of the devotion to the Blessed Mother." And so that's what I heard. This is just my take on it.
And you hear different like there's Constance, there's some say Concetta, some say Conchetta, but I agree with you because my mother is 100% Sicilian as well. And my late uncle, the priest, he used to always say Concetta. He used to always say that he loved saying it because he was so devoted to the Blessed Mother. And so again, it all revolves around our Lady, our mother, and how beautiful is that. Connie, God bless you. Now you can start your weekend, okay?
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
God bless you, Connie. I love Buffalo. Been there so many times for the Station of the Cross Fund Drive. What a great group of stations they have. And, Debbie, it might be a little bit past pledge drive season for a lot of stations, but we just always love to take the opportunity to encourage you, our listeners, to be very, very generous in your financial prayers and financial support of EWTN and your local Catholic station. Debbie and I have done hundreds of pledge drives between us, something we absolutely love doing, and we love when your calls come in and you are saying, yes, I want to support my Catholic radio station and keep it going. So please, even if you didn't get a chance to call during their pledge drive, and maybe it's a few weeks ago, call them up today and say, Jerry and Debbie said to send you some money.
Very cool.
It's that easy.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to take something back. I made a mistake. The word, because Connie is a nickname for also Constance, but Constance actually is the Latin, which means constant. So I don't know if that's necessarily after it's Concepcion or Conchetta, or Concetta is after the Immaculate Conception. So I just wanted to correct that. Constance is actually means constant. There you go.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I love, some cultures do it more than others. I love how they give even the names of the Holy Family in some cases. Like at one of the grocery stores I go to, there's a checker named Jesus, and then you have Jose and Maria. The Hispanics really take that deep faith that they have and really let that play out in the lives of their children by giving them these holy, beautiful names.
I completely agree. That's the reason why that I've always, when I was in religious education for the youth ministry portion of it, and people would say to me all the time, what does my name mean? They would always say, Miss Deb, what does my name mean? And they would have a name that was, kind of a unique name that parents would give them, where they'd mix two different names and put it together, and they'd make a new name out of it. And so it was a little bit hard to try and figure out what their name could possibly mean or where it was derived from. But that's why I would always say, well, let's go to your middle name. What's your middle name? Okay, well, let's go to your confirmation name. You know what I'm saying, Jerry? So to try and give them, because they are interested in how that name became theirs. That identifies them. It's very, very important, especially to the youth.
Okay, Carol, keep hanging on. Leonard got on the line just about 20 seconds before you did, so we'll go to Leonard next in San Antonio, and Carol, you'll be up next right after Leonard, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network, and a first-time caller to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Leonard. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Love the subject matter. All-time listener. Listen quite a bit, but yeah, I love my my full name. This is how I've come to understand it. Growing up over the course of my life. And I can't say I loved it when I was young, but my full name is Leonard Brennan Rodriguez. My first name is the name of my father, so he is in me and I am in him. My middle name comes from Father Brennan, who was a Midwesterner and moved to San Antonio, and that is my middle name. So he represents the union between my parents, and that name was given to me as well. And then my last name, Rodriguez, well, it's a everlasting root so far back to Adam and Eve. And what's really unique is now my nephew, he took on the first name of Father Brennan. So to your point about Hispanics kind of carrying on that tradition, we're seeing that happen in our family with Father Brennan. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I'm very thankful of the name that the Lord gave to my parents to give to me. I'll hang up now and listen because I know you've got lots of callers. But thank
before
you.
Before you do, Leonard, real quick, is Father Brandon? Is he still living?
No, he passed away.
Okay.
He pretty much a young boy, but he's with me every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good. We'll let you go on that note, Leonard, and thank you for calling. Of course, his first name means, what is it, lion strength or something like that from Leo. But Debbie, that is so beautiful. I mean, we've known a lot of people who have named their children after the priests who married them or baptized them or, were just a significant part of their lives. And you got to believe that for a priest in particular, Debbie, who is not, typically is not going to be married and have children of his own, he obviously baptizes and has spiritual children, maybe thousands of them during the course of his ministry. But to have someone bearing his name has got to be so heartwarming for a priest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That actually happened to my uncle. He was so pleased when people would, just remember him and his ministry work, his vocation, and it just extends that family feeling, if you will, and it's a beautiful thing. Leonard, thank you so very much for sharing your wonderful, beautiful names, and we appreciate that so very, very much. God bless you. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. We want to hear from you now about your birth and legal name. Share the meaning of it. If you like it, you don't like it, you grew into it, we want to hear from you.
Father Wade Menezes.
The Father himself gauges his Son, capital G, as the most perfect one to act in his stead, he whom the Father himself sent into the world.
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
Turn over the pages of sacred scripture. What do you find? You find a record of men to whom God has spoken. And you'll also find a record of men who listened to him. In other words, Scripture is fulfilled in concrete, living dialogues. Now, men do not always want that dialogue with God. At one time, they desire it. At another time, they fear it. Adam was afraid when God called him in the garden. Cain was afraid when God spoke to him. Moses was afraid before the burning bush. When you and I have a dialogue with God, what makes it up? One thing that makes it up is, first of all, a consciousness of our own sin. And the other is the voice of God urging us to confess it, to seek his mercy.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
I have a very hard time sometimes, and I'm so frustrated. I mean, frustrated. Somebody says, how'd you do all this, Mother? I say, I didn't. And they look at me, The Lord did it. God does everything. Without me, he said, you do nothing.
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
Monday on More to Life. You got this.
Worried about the week ahead? We're going to help you regain your confidence.
Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and our show team, Michael Birchfield, Jeff Burson, Ryan Penny, and thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. And this is a show we love doing, but Debbie and I and the show team, we all listen to a lot of other shows on EWTN Radio, and one of my favorites is Blessed to Play. Blessed, the number 2, Play. It's Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern Time, and it's a program that has usually current professional or collegiate sports athletes, former ones, managers, people like that. And this week's guest is Carlos Brizuela. He's former collegiate baseball pitcher and now assistant baseball operations Spanish translator for Major League Baseball's Milwaukee Brewers. Host Ron Meyer talks with Carlos about his journey to working in pro baseball and how faith guides him in his life. So tune into Blessed to Play, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night and every Saturday on most of these EWTN stations.
You guys are doing, wow. You're just spectacular how you are filling up the phone lines. Each time a line becomes free, you're just jumping right on it. I love that. So let's hear what Carol has to say. Carol is in Ontario, listening on the EWTN.com online. Hi, Carol. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I just want to say that I have a unique name in the way that I was conceived in rape. and I was adopted as a baby by a loving couple. I was a third adopted child, and they were also foster parents for over 50 years. So we've had hundreds of children in our home. But the name they gave me, and I am French, so I'm going to say it in French, is Carole Marie Thérèse Roy. And Carole means Song of Joy, which I also share with Pope John Paul II. And Marie is our sharing with our Blessed Mother. Thérèse is my godmother, and also I share with Mother Teresa and Sainte Thérèse de Lisieux. And Roy, my last name, in French means Roi, which means king. So technically my name is, even though I am the daughter of a king, I'm also his Song of Joy. So that brings me a lot of comfort because back in 2010, the adoption records in Ontario were open, and we were able to apply for our original birth certificate. And since I was conceived in rape, when my birth mother was 16, I did meet her, and she didn't know who he was. So I contacted the Children's Services to find out any non-identifying information before I met her. There's no birth father's name on my birth certificate, so I will never know who my biological father is. And that, to me, I started crying, and I was journaling, and the Lord wrapped his arms around me and said to me, I am your father. So that really touched me a lot. And I am also a pro-life speaker. I've gone to several high schools, a French high school here, and various areas in various places in our area. And I was actually asked to go and speak at the March for Life in Regina, Saskatchewan, but with everything that was canceled. So I'm hoping next May I'll be able to go and share my testimony. But my name is very much a part of who I am, and I'm very grateful. I was actually named Carol after a babysitter that my adoptive mom, who is my mom, that she liked this girl who was named Alice. And to me, my birth mother was going to call me Alice, and my adoptive mom had me babysat at some point, and the girl was named Carol, so I was named after her. But I think I'm more of a Carol than an Alice. But anyway, that's my story. I just wanted to share it.
Well, that is so inspiring, Carol, and I'm glad you brought up the pro-life work that you're involved in. Thank you so much for doing that. And I was going to say that, your situation, and it's not unique, this happens a lot, but, we hear the other side, the pro-abortion, the pro-culture of death people, they will say, they always want to say, abortion should be, safe, legal, and rare, except, especially in cases of health of the mother or rape or something like that. But, you're valuable apart from, any of those things. I mean, God creates every single human being uniquely and for a special purpose and with beautiful, beautiful, great dignity. And it really sounds like you have, taken your names to heart. And you live, I would say you kind of, Debie, it sounds like she lives her names. Her names, I love it, from Carol, a little derivative of Carol Wojtyła, our Blessed Mother, Saint Therese, last name King. This is a story of Carol here, Debie, who is she's just kind of saturated in these beautiful blessings of her names.
Oh, I completely agree, Carol. And I just wanted to say the Take Two family, as you were speaking, just are just welling up with emotions in just, they're so grateful to God that you are living out your purpose and speaking on the pro-life behalf. And I just wanted to say, when you do that, when you speak, I'm sure you're having a greater impact than most, because it's I believe, this is just me, I'm just saying this, I just believe when I've seen folks that have turned their life into a purposeful mission for God, I believe God elevates that. and anoints that in ways that we could never even do here on earth. And so I just want to say to you, Carol, thank you for doing the work you do in the pro-life ministry. May I ask you before we let you go, have you noticed that? Have you noticed that people respond to you in a very unique way? Because I just feel that God elevates those ministries. Carol, can you comment on that?
Yes, and actually, it's not just me. I'm a mother of 3 adult children and 6 grandchildren. So yes, if I had been aborted, none of us would be here. And so, and I'm just thinking of that. The Lord opened up a door for me to speak to a young woman who was 18 years old and found herself pregnant. I work at an employment center, and one of my former coworkers contacted me, who was now working as a crisis counselor in one of our Catholic schools. And she asked me if I wanted to speak with her, and I said, yes, of course. I jumped at it right away, and I was able to speak with her, and she asked me to if I wanted to go with her at her ultrasound. And actually, her mother and her grandmother both had abortions, and they were pressuring this young girl to have an abortion because of mental health issues, and they were saying that she wasn't able to take care of this child. Anyway, when I go speak, this little baby is my poster child, because she did have the little girl, and the girl is now 7 years old, and she's beautiful. And when after about a couple of years, no, not quite, about maybe a year after that she had the baby, she asked me if I wanted to meet her, and I said yes. And the look of the baby sitting across the table, we were in this restaurant, and she just looked at me, and her eyes were thanking me for speaking up for her. So yes, that would be a direct involvement with me and with others that I have met. They're always inspired as well. And I'm just very grateful to be alive and to have my children and grandchildren. Those are just blessings upon blessings for me.
Oh, Carol, amazing. Again, I have to say this. I hope your journey, is being left in writing for your family and for your grandchildren. You have an incredible story that can continue for many, many, many years, decades, helping people. And I say thank you for living out your purpose and mission, Carol. You're amazing. Thank you so much for blessing this conversation today and gracing it with your words. It is incredible. Jerry?
Yeah, thank you, Carol, so very, very much. Beautiful to have you on the program today. And that will open up another phone line at 833-288-3986, talking about birth names, legal names, and how much we like them, love them, maybe had to get used to them a little bit earlier in life. Maybe it wasn't such a favorite sort of name for you. And we're talking also about how many of us have gotten our names, 833-288-3986.
Hey, Jerry, real quickly, we're getting a lot of messages for Carol. Everybody's just sending their virtual hugs, and they just absolutely love Carol's call today. And then real quickly, I'm going to mess this up. I'm just going to tell you up front, because I'm getting text messages like crazy. But this is from our friend Tim from Ohio, Timoteo from Ohio, and he's on the Inspired by Faith book club together. They're watching the show. Hi, everybody. Jerry's waving to you right now. But Timoteo Saldana Honesto. I hope I got that right, Tim. And Tim says, I was going to say I learned years ago my first name means honoring God, and my last name was just Spanish for honest. So basically, I am honest about honoring God. Also, we went by the tradition of using both surnames. Timoteo, my given name, Saldana, my mother's surname, aka maiden name, and my father's surname, Honesto. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
honest about honoring God. I love that. I hope I got it right, Tim. Tell me if I got it right. Otherwise, send me a smiley face saying I messed up.
Well, very good. Good to hear from you, Tim, there in Ohio. 833-288-3986. Okay, back to the calls. I believe it's Michaeline in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire, listening on the EWTN app. I forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Can you help us with that?
You got it right. Very good.
Okay, great.
These previous stories are so grand. My story is not nearly as grand as the previous stories, but
it's yours.
Kind of a funny story. Yeah, exactly. My name came from the movie The Quiet Man. And The Quiet Man movie was made the year that I was born. And my mom already had 2 boys. And my godmother saw the movie, and when my mom was carrying me, she said, I've got a great name for you if you have a little girl. And she pronounced it Michaeline. But in the movie, the name was Micheline. And Ryan and I were talking about this when he was talking to me in the screening, and he looked it up, and it was in the movie, the character that had the name was the one of the religious Anglican pastors, I guess, and it was pronounced Micheline in the movie. So my mother and father changed it to Michaeline, and my last name was McNamee, which is an Irish name. But this is a name that, a 4-year-old had to go to kindergarten with. And it's a mouthful, Michaeline McNamee. Thankfully, they didn't give me a middle name because they thought Michaeline McNamee was long enough. And in school, my name just got butchered. I mean, they would every time roll call was taken and they came to the M's, the teacher would just stop. And I would just raise my hand and say, I'm here, because I knew they were going to pronounce it Micheline McNamee or Micheline McNamee or something other than Michaeline McNamee. So, the kids would always make fun of me because my name was always mispronounced in school. But that's the story of my name. It came from a movie.
There's nothing vanilla or plain about that, Michaeline. That is a beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that, and I just love how you. Yeah, your godmother saw the movie and suggested that name to your parents. I think that's great. You said that the other kids kind of made fun of it in class, but I thought about this in the other reverse. How when they came to your name, it's almost like you stood out. You stood out among your classmates in a certain way because of that little pause that the teacher had to make there. But what do you think, Debbie? What do you think about? Your beautiful story.
I think it really taught you at an early age how to handle those tongue twisters, Michaeline. Because you had to master it at an early age, and so I'm sure that benefited you in your adult life as well. Because as a small child, that's tough to get that rolling pretty quickly out your mouth when you had to share your name. But I wanted to just say real quickly, I'm sure you know this, but if you take the Michael portion of your name, do you know what Michael means? Because I shared it with our producer, which he didn't even realize his name Michael was named this. Do you know?
No, I don't.
It means who is like God.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Isn't that pretty cool?
Beautiful.
I know. That's why Michael's like my all-time favorite name. So, yeah.
My middle brother was baptized Michael, but my mother called him Gary. So he was baptized Michael Gary, but throughout life we referred to him as Gary. And my older brother's name is James. After my father and after my grandfather, my son's name is also James, which are names that I just love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But you've got a really, really powerful, strong name. I love your name. It's absolutely beautiful. May I ask, did you always keep your last name, or did you have a married name?
My married name is Cook.
Okay. I was just going to laugh because here's what happens. This cracks me up. It used to happen all the time. People would have really difficult last names, and then they would marry somebody with a very common name. It was hilarious. That's why I was going with that. There you go. So now see how God evens it all out in the end.
He did. But yeah, I never really appreciated my name until I got older, when other adults would say to me, your name is really beautiful. But when you're in school and you're being made fun of, you don't look at it as being beautiful. So I actually ask people to call me Mike, which most people did. But as I got older, especially my boss now, he never refers to me to anything but Michaeline. And I had an older man say the same thing to me, an older man I used to have lunch with once a month, and he loved my name. And he would say, please, always, when you sign anything, please use your full name.
Well,
I really
Michaeline,
came to appreciate it.
Yeah, Michaeline, I just want to say we're getting text messages. Our friend Kathy from Rhode Island, she just said it's after St. Michael, and she said, I love her name. So there you go.
Oh, great. I've had a couple of people actually named after me.
Wow.
That people did love the name.
So cool.
Yeah, I actually, one of my cousins named one of his daughters the same name. So, yeah, it's a beautiful name, and I appreciate my mom taking my godmother's suggestion.
Absolutely. What great, powerful protection you have from St. Michael as well, as we've been talking a lot about names being named after saints, for example, in the intercession that they have for us. You could hardly get more powerful, obviously the Blessed Mother and St. Joseph, but among the angels, you've got St. Michael, who's in that beautiful prayer, and with God's permission, he gets to banish Satan to hell. So thank you, Michaeline. We appreciate that so very, very much. Actually, Debbie, I know someone whose last name is Carroll, and he married a woman named Carol.
Carol. I know. Yeah. Would that refer to a wonderful radio station in Nebraska?
It would, yes.
Yep, absolutely. I know. I love it. It's so beautiful. Can we just say something real quickly? We're getting text messages, Ryan, just to let you know, we're getting text messages from our listeners like Jennifer and others that are saying that they are actually like eighth and sixth in the queue. So and we've got full phone lines. So that's waiting to get into the next level to get on the air. So just want to let you know, you guys, we're going as fast as we possibly can. Jerry?
I want to mention Church Pop, a service of EWTN. For those of you who don't know about it, Church Pop, P-O-P, features new online Christian content that's fun, informative, and inspirational. You will find Church Pop on Snapchat, Instagram, and on the web at churchpop.com, a service of EWTN.
Okay, Jerry in Houston, Texas, Guadalupe Radio Network, first-time caller. Hi, Jerry. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call. I know you're running short on time. I'm 63 years old. I found out about 3 years ago why my name is Gerardo. It's really Gerard Gerardo. I've got 6 sisters. I'm in the middle, and one little brother was 9 years younger than I was. And I never knew why he was called Junior, and I wasn't Junior. Well, when Mom was pregnant with me, she went out to get the laundry. She fell, and the water broke. And my mom, I was born at 6 months and 1 week, and I was supposed to die. So I had a 90% chance of dying, and my mom had like a 50% chance of dying. And my aunt had prayed to St. Gerard Mejia and said to him, if he would let me live, they would put my name, give me the saint's name of Gerard Mejia to me so that I would live. And that's why I wasn't a junior. And I always wondered why I wasn't a junior. And it's... I've always, and I was blessed too. My birthday actually falls on the Blessed St. John Paul's blessed day as well, which is a good thing. And I also work with pro-life as well.
Well, God bless you, Jerry. And yeah, you and I share that name. My name is Gerard, and I know in Spanish it's Gerardo. And I would love to hear the stories of St. Gerard's assistance, his help, his intervention on behalf of so many people. I mentioned that's beautiful what you shared about your mom and how she, had the difficulties there, and you were born at 6 months, and here you are today. And I shared how my mother was in labor for 24 hours with me, and she couldn't have kids, for the first 7 or 8 years of their marriage, and St. Gerard came through for them. So, Debbie, in fact, we've done a show on St. Gerard and how he's helped expectant mothers or mothers to get pregnant. Didn't we do a show on that?
We have, and that's my husband's middle name as well. So we have, and we'll revisit that again, Jerry, because I think that's really important. There's I agree with you, Jerry Usher, that we need to recognize the saints that are extremely active in our families, and it's so very important. Jerry, thank you so much for sharing your story of your incredible name, another blessed name. Well, it's wonderful to celebrate this as we're going into the weekend, because I think it gives us a new, just an uplifted spirit, if you will. I think we're all recognizing each other's names, how they came to be, and it presents a lot of dignity and respect for one another. I love that. It's a beautiful feeling. So, Jerry, thank you so much from Houston, Texas.
All right, we are going to go next to Mary Kay in Horseshoe Bay, Texas, listening on our friends at Guadalupe Radio Network, a first-time caller. Hi, Mary Kay. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi, thanks. I listen to you every day, and yesterday I heard my good friend Stantal Lois, so I thought I'd call in too.
Cool.
So we're parishioners and friends, but my name is actually Mary Catherine, and I was named after my two grandmothers, who I love dearly, and they were both very spiritual women. But my mom and dad wanted to call me Mary Kay. So every year they had to write a note to the teacher saying, please don't call her Mary, call her Mary Kay. So anyways, it was just kind of funny. And then I named both of my daughters Mary Eileen and Catherine Mary because of the special influence that Our Lady has in my life.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. Beautiful. And I love when you have like two names like that, like Mary Ann or Mary Kay, or so many folks will do that. I love that because it sets you apart. It has you stand out a bit, and so the uniqueness of that tends to travel with you. And I think there's a beauty in that. A lot of people are starting to use their middle names as part of their regular interaction with people. They are starting to say that, which is, I think it's really a wonderful feature that we're able to do if we carry a middle name, or even Jerry, I think you have two middle names. I just love that. So Mary Kay, thank you for sharing. Again, we've said this a million times, but if you've been blessed with the name Mary, Maria, Marie, I truly feel you are so incredibly fortunate. So, God bless you, Mary Kay. And I know you must be, and I know you must be thinking of your two grandmothers. I think that's wonderful, named after each grandmother. I love that. What do you think?
I think it's precious. It's really a blessing, right?
It is.
But I do get a lot of jokes about Mary Kay with the cosmetic company.
Cosmetics, yeah.
Yeah, just tell them you started it,
Mary
Mary
Kay.
Kay.
Like that.
Yeah.
One of your many holdings.
Right. I'm one of the original
Right.
founders. Yeah. Just kidding.
Right.
Oh, God bless you, Mary
Bless you,
Kay.
Mary
And
Kay.
I listen every day.
Oh,
God bless you both.
Thank
you so very, very much. Wow. We're down. I don't know. We would have to squeeze somebody in about 30 seconds, and I don't know if we can do that, which is, this is the part of the program we don't like, is when we have people on the line and can't get to all of you.
Well, how about this, Jerry? We have so many folks. We'll remember all of you. We'll write it down. We will revisit this show again, maybe next month, Jerry. What do you think? In July, how about for your birthday and Marty's birthday? We'll talk about birth names. I love that. Let's do that again. Yeah. And then, Jerry, real quickly, did you mention Church Pop? Because I'd like to mention Church Pop.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You
did?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you mentioned it already? Well, if you did, then
I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I just love Church Pop, you guys. Really, please make sure you, just check it out, churchpop.com. I can't stress it enough. The articles that are coming out are just so helpful. And also, please make sure you visit take2show.com, take the survey, the happy anniversary, quick 60-second survey to help us formulate the next 6 months of 2020 for Take Two. And again, we just want to say to all of you, we absolutely love you guys, sending you virtual hugs, and we just think the world of you. So please know that of the Take Two family. Jerry?
Okay, on Monday's program, we are going to be talking about broken hearts. Have you ever had your heart broken? Or maybe you've broken someone's heart, whether it was on purpose or not. I think we can all answer yes to one of those questions, and let's talk about how we got beyond those things. Maybe there was reconciliation at some point. So that is our topic on Monday's broadcast. Until then, on behalf of the show team, Michael, Jeff, and Ryan, I'm Jerry Usher for Debie Georgiani and all at EWTN, hoping you have a beautiful and blessed weekend.